watched my tutorial yesterday, then you already know I made this shirt with my Caesar Romeo. Well, today is Cricut's turn to show us what it can do. Let's get started. Hello everyone and welcome to Crafting with Delonda. It's me again, Delonda, and thank you so much for joining me today. Now, yesterday when I made this shirt with my Caesar Romeo, you will notice that this shirt does not have the outline around the G or the O. But today we are going to take it up a notch in Cricut Design Space, and we are going to add an outline inside of the letters, and I think you are going to love it. Now, let me just go ahead and forewarn you, it is a bit tricky in Cricut Design Space, and that is why you will see a lot of on-screen prompts to help you through the process. No matter what, don't quit. You can also slow the video down if you need to. At the end of this video, if you find it helpful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Now, without further ado, let's look at the materials, get the files downloaded, and head right into Cricut Design Space. The materials I'm using for this project include my Cricut Explore Air 2. I'm using a black Gildan heavy cotton shirt. I'm using 4 different colors of glitter vinyl. This is brown, silver, white, and green. This green vinyl is not Caesar. I'm not sure what brand it is. I purchased it locally. Caesar does make a green glitter vinyl. It's just a little bit lighter than this color, so I decided to go with a darker green. Okay, the heat press that I'm going to use is the HTV Ront Auto Heat Press. However, you could also use a Cricut Easy Press or a bigger press. All right, let's go to the computer and get the files downloaded and then head into Cricut Design Space. Before we head into Cricut Design Space, let's get our font downloaded and let's also get the other resources. So the font that I'm using is one that's called Grating, and you can download it from dafont.com. However, it is my personal opinion that you should download it from Creative Fabrica because you will have a commercial license. If you use it from dafont.com, you will not be able to use it the font for sales purposes. You would only be able to use it for personal use. Let's head over to Creative Fabrica so that I can show you the files that I downloaded, which are also linked below the video. Okay, I'm on the Creative Fabrica website. You can see that that font Grating is also here. So you can have to make your own decision about if you want to use that font. What I did for the letters is I downloaded a font that's called College and University. I believe this one right here that is linked below the video. So I chose this one because it has an outline that goes with it. And for the football, all I did was do a search for football, and you'll see a lot of them will come up. I chose this design right here. It's called football, and when I selected the design, it actually comes with all 4 of these options, and I used option 1. Okay, so now let's head into Cricut Design Space. I am in Cricut Design Space, and the first thing I'm going to do is add the G and the O to the canvas. So I'm going to click and add the G and the O. And when they come in, I will align them so they are at the same level. I'm going to click align bottom, and I can see that the letters are not touching. The next thing I'm going to do is remind you to pay attention to what is going on in the layers panel. If I have the G and the O selected, I can see that this is 5 layers, and I do not want this to be 5 layers. I actually want to make this 1 layer. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to make sure it's selected. I'm going to come down and select weld. Now I have the G and the O and it's one layer. The next thing I'm going to do is resize this to a width of 11. I'm not changing the height very much, just a little bit. And there's not a set number. You'll have to decide that part for yourself. The next thing I'm going to do is go and upload the football. This is the football that I downloaded from Creative Fabrica. However, there are free footballs in Cricut Design Space images. You can just click on images and look for a football there if you don't want to use the same one. Now, when I look at this football, I can see that it has 3 layers, and I actually don't want it to have 3 layers. But before I make any changes to the football over here, I'm actually going to make sure that it's sized the way I want it to be, because I don't want it to be too big and I don't want it to overpower the whole design. So what I'm going to do is just put it over here on top of the O. Well, before I do that, let me change the color of the letters. Now, the color of the letters will be dependent upon what team you're making this for. And since I'm making this to represent the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm going to make this green. So I'm going to click right here and just change the color to green. Okay. Now let's look at the football. Okay, so I have the football. It's in the front of the G and the O. And I'm just going to resize it. I don't want the football to like stick out like this over here. I want it to be inside that green line. And I don't want it to be too big either. Okay, so I think that size right there is fine. And that's the size I'm going to go with. Now, what I'm going to do is just move the football out for now. And I am going to ungroup it. And I can see that I have 3 individual layers. What I'm going to do with the black layer and the brown layer, I'm going to hold my shift key and I'm going to make sure I have the brown layer and the black layer selected. And I am going to go to combine and weld. Okay, so now I have 3 layers on my mat. I have the brown part of the football, the white part of the football, and I have the 2 letters which represent 1 layer. Now, with the white layer of the football, I have the white layer and the brown layer. I have both selected right here. Looking at the layers panel, we will pay very close attention to the layers panel for this tutorial in order to be successful, because there are a lot of steps that require you to really know what's going on the canvas. Okay, so what I'm going to do with these 2 layers selected is click slice. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I don't want to have anything in between the brown layer when I'm working with it. So I have the brown layer right here. I have the white layer right here. And these parts right here are just extra and I don't need them. So I am going to actually just delete those pieces. This and this, I'm going to delete that. Okay, so far we've done 1 slice and we still have 3 layers on our mat, on our canvas. All right, so what I'm going to do now is put the football back together, and I want to make sure that it's lined up the way it's supposed to be. So I select the whole thing and I'm going to go to align and center, and that'll put it back in the right exact place. Now, because I don't want to have to do that again with the football, I am just going to duplicate a copy of the football and move it down here. And I'm also going to turn that copy off. I don't actually need to have it on right now. Okay, so I have this one right here that I'm going to be working with, and that's fine. So I'm going to select this one and I'm going to group it so it stays together. And what I'm going to do is put this back on top of the G and the O. Okay, hope you're still with me and you're following along just fine. I'm going to reduce the view on my screen to right at 75%. And I'm going to select all of this, the G, the O, and the football. Now with everything selected, I am going to go to combine and I'm going to go to subtract. Okay, so now the football is gone. I don't have it on my canvas at all anymore. And all I have is just the G and the O, and I have the space where the football used to be. Now, what I'm going to do is go back down here to combine, and I want to merge those layers, because if I don't, I'll still see this result. I still have all of that, and I don't want those layers. So now this is back to being one layer. Now I can see all this stuff right here in the middle of this football, and I know I don't want any of that. So what I'm going to do is, let's move this down so we can see what we are actually contouring. So now I can click contour, and I'm going to scroll down, and I'm just going to remove all of those little pieces from in the middle that I don't want. I'm just clicking over here in this layers panel. Okay, so some of it I can't remove, like that line right there and that line, I can't remove that. I'm okay with that though. Okay, so I'm gonna close that out. So now I still have one layer, and what I have is my extra football that I put to the side. So I'm going to turn that back on, and this one. So I still have my pieces. I have the brown part of the football and I have the white part of the football. Let's change the color of the canvas so we can really have a full understanding of what's going on the canvas. Okay, so I'm going to click right here on blank canvas, and I'm going to change the color of the canvas. Let's go with this light gray. Okay, so when I look back here behind this football, I can see that there's nothing behind that. That's just a plain layer. And if I were to click make it right now, I would have three mats. I would have the green mat, I will have a space for the white mat, and I will have space for the football. Now, I'm not finished though, because remember, I still need to have space for my word, my team. And the team that I'm using in this case is Eagles. So I still have a little bit more work to do. Now, at this point, you might want to go ahead and save any work you've done, just in case, something starts to happen. So let's go ahead and click save, and let's call this, I'll just call it Philly, like that. Okay, and I'll click save. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to take the football and I'm going to put it right back over here on top in the place where it should be. So that looks really good. We're good to go. I have three layers and I have three things on my canvas. What I'm going to do is click text, and I'm going to select the grating font. Remember, you can download that font from Creative Fabrica, or you can download it from dafont.com. In my opinion, it's best if you download it from Creative Fabrica, in case you want to make any sales from your files so that you will have a commercial license. Okay, so I'm going to go over here. I'm going to select grating. Okay, and I'm going to type the text Eagles. Okay, now I am going to make sure that the text is welded. So I'm going to click weld. And I'm going to move the text to the front of the file, and I want to stretch it out. I want it to be, fairly big. I want it to be bold. I want it to look really, really nice. Okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do, now the color of this text is actually going to be silver. So I'll just make it like this. Let's make it this darker one right here. Okay, so that looks good. Now, what I'm going to do with my text is I am going to have an offset. So even though the top layer is silver, the layer behind it will actually be white. So I'm going to click offset. The offset automatically defaults to 0.25, but I'm going to move it down to 0.083. Okay. And I'm going to click apply. Now I can see the the text, and the offset automatically defaults to black. However, I'm going to change it to white so we get a good view of what our finished product is going to look like. And in my opinion, this looks very, very nice. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to select that text again, the first layer and the second layer, and I'm going to do another offset. So I'm going to actually have an offset and a second offset, and the default size just goes to whatever you use last, and in this case is 0.083. I'm going to click apply. Once again, the offset turned black. That's fine. Now I'm going to move the top layer, well actually not that bottom. Let's move the white layer, let's move this gray layer, and now we are going to be slicing this in a minute, but we're not going to worry about this part just yet, but we are going to slice that. I'm going to take this black layer, I'm going to put it wherever I think it should go on my file, and I have to slice 3 separate times. I am going to slice this black layer out of the green. I'm going to slice the black layer out of the brown. And I'm also going to slice this black layer out of the white. Okay, let me say that part again. So this part, this word eagles, remember this is my second offset. I am going to select that. I'm going to hold my shift key, and I am going to slice this out of the green layer right here. So if let's look at our canvas and see, let's look at our layers panel and see what we have. So we have the gray set of text, we have the white text, we have the black text, we have the word go, we have the brown layer of the football, and we have the white layer of the football. We are going to slice from here, we're going to slice from here, and we're going to slice from here. Okay, so let's grab this G, hold the shift key, and grab the first layer, which is that green layer, and we are going to click slice. The reason why we are slicing this is because we do not layer glitter on top of glitter. So every time I lay glitter down on my canvas or on my mat or on my shirt or on my whatever, I am going to make sure that I am not placing a layer of glitter on top of another layer of glitter. Okay. All right. So now I'm finished with that. I'm going to select this black layer again. I'm going to hold my shift key, and now I'm going to slice from the football. So I'm going to hold my shift key, select the football. I have 2 layers selected, this layer and the football, and I'm going to click slice. Okay, see, I still haven't moved anything. Everything is still in the place where it was before. Now I'm going to do one more slice. I'm going to hold the first layer, that eagles. I'm going to hold my shift key, and I'm going to select the white layer, and I'm going to click slice. Now I'm going to start to move everything out that I don't need, and I'm going to delete it. The first thing I'm going to actually delete is this layer of the word eagles, because that is only there to slice. That's just there for slicing and saving the place for this word eagles right here. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to click delete, and I'm going to start to move all that black layer that's deleted. This part right here should be deleted. This layer should be deleted. This black layer should be deleted. This part of the I think this, let me double check that part, but this brown part should be deleted. And let's see, that's my football. We'll fit that back in there. Even though I don't think I'm going to need this, I don't think I need this part. Let's put this back. That looks really good. That looks really, really good. All right, and let me just look at that one more time and decide if I want to contour this line out, because I honestly don't feel like I need that line right there. And let me look at the football too, because I think some of this I need to contour it out. I can, but it looks, let's see. Yeah, I want it like that. I actually don't want those little pieces, those extra pieces. I think that looks a lot better. So now I'm going to do the same thing here. Let's just move it over here so we can see what's going on with the contour. And we will start to get these little pieces out that we don't need, because we really don't need them. All right, so I think that looks a lot better. There's a piece right there that I also don't need. Just that white at the top should be sufficient. All right, so I can click that. And I know that this will fit here perfectly. Now, let me select these two layers right here. The reason why I'm slicing these two layers of eagles is because, remember, we don't layer glitter on top of glitter. And right now, this is a full layer, and I need this just to be an outline. So what I'm going to do is put this on top, just like that. I'm going to select the whole thing. Let's move it over here so we can get a good look at it. And I will click align, and I'll center that, and then I will slice it. Okay. And let's see. So I have my top layer. This middle layer will be deleted. And then this layer will fit in here like this because it's going to be white. Okay. And this layer will be right there on top of that. All right, that looks really, really good. All right, and what I'm going to do now is decide what to do with this. I don't want this. I don't want this part right here. So I'm actually going to delete this. All right, we're almost finished. What I'm going to do is move the text. I'm going to select the text from my layers panel, and I'm just going to move it over here for now. I'm also going to select the football, the brown part and the white part, and I'm going to move this out. I'm going to select this green layer, and I am going to add an offset to this. I'm going to click offset, and I'm going to click apply. The offset will turn black, however, it's actually going to be white. Okay, and now I'm going to do the last slice. I'm going to select this, all of this, the green layer and the white layer, and I'm going to slice this. The reason why I'm slicing this is because this back layer is still filled in, and I don't need it to be filled in. So I have my green layer, I have this white layer that's filled in that I'm going to delete, and I have this white layer. Now, what I'm going to do with this white layer, I'm going to move it over to the side. I'm going to also take this part of my file, which is the eagles, the word in white, and I'm going to do my very, very best to get this lined up exactly where it should go. Okay, and I think I got it. I think that's it right there. I think that's it. I really do think I lined it up nicely right there. So I'm going to select the whole thing, and I will attach it, and then I'll just double check that I actually lined it up right. I'll send the green layer to the front, and before I start to get any of this cut out, I will make sure that all of my pieces are going to line up the way they are supposed to. Okay, we'll send this to the front. Fantastic. I don't love this one little piece that's hanging off right here, but maybe it's because I don't have it lined up just right. So I'll be very careful about that when I am putting it all together. But I think this looks excellent. It is now time for me to click make it. I am going to mirror this. I'm going to select this file. I'm going to mirror this. Going to select this one and mirror this. going to select this, and I'm going to move this to the same mat as the white layer of the football, and I'll just move this down here to the bottom. Okay, and then with the green mat, I'm also going to mirror this. All right, we are good to go. I'm going to click continue, and I will be connecting to my Cricut Explore Air 2 via Bluetooth, and I am going to choose the glitter iron-on setting, and I'm going to keep it on the default pressure. Everything I'll do from here will be back on the camera. I have all of my mats. So the silver mat, I have the white with the brown, and then I also have just the white, and my green is already in the Cricut. I'll speed this part up while this gets cut out. Okay, I have my vinyl all layered the way I want it to go. And what I've decided is that I'm going to do the white layer first, then the football will be next, then the green layer, then the white layer, then the silver layer. So I'm going to show you that, but I wanted you to see how I decided to place mine down so that this part of the green, see if you can see that, this part of the green, the reason why I'm doing it that way is so that this part of the green is on top of the football right there. I kind of just want it like that, but that'll be your decision when you get ready to make yours. So now let's get this placed down. I have my shirt. I'm using a black heavy cotton Gildan medium shirt, and I am going to fold it in half to get a crease down the middle like I always do. And give it a quick press. The heat press is set to 320 degrees for 20 seconds, but I'm not going to press each layer for 20 seconds. I'm going to press each layer for about 7 seconds. Here's my crease. The reason why I do that is so I can know where the middle is and so I can remove the moisture from the shirt. Okay, so now I'm going to place the shirt down, and I typically do 3 fingers. I don't do 3 inches. That's just what I do. So I just go like 3 fingers from the collar, and I am going to start with that white layer. Let me move the table down a little bit so you can get a really good view of this. Okay, I have my white layer first, and I'm going to line it up in between the G and the O. Just like that, and I'm going to use parchment paper, and I'm just going to press this for about 7 seconds. All right, this is the finished product, and what am I going to say? I love it. I love it. I love it. If you have found this tutorial helpful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications, because I do upload new content every single week. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for watching. Bye.